Yeah, we bring reviews of your house, talk to our dudes of your house. I bring my views of your house, wrestling truths of your house. We talk to you in your house, we keeps it cool in your house, we keeps it cool in your house. I'm spitting truths in your house. Yeah. Mark's hating on his fans, Becky Nish on the man. Play with two like a lion, household a dangerous alliance. I am a nightmare like Cody, and I'm overcoming like Kobe. No, they cannot hold me. Come listen, I'm hosting, critiquing, I'm boasting. This wrestling I'm knowing.
It's all about podcasts these days.
My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and you're listening to the In Your House podcast. This is Austin Theory of Evolve. You're listening to the In Your House podcast.
This is AEW's Darby Allin, and you're listening to In Your House podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to In Your House, starring Alakan House and my man, Michael Hutchison. That's Mikey Hutch. This is the People's Podcast. Haha. Hey guys, you already know who it is. It's your boys, Con and Hutch, ready to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. That is what we do, and hey, we love it. So let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's alright. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, hey, we can get to you, and we bringing that workity, round the clock. You already know what it is, guys. Last time that I checked, In Your House was the hottest professional wrestling podcast in the Midwest, because we're coming for all the smoke. And oh man, you know what it is. We got my man back in the building. Hutch, how's it going, bro?
Going fantastic, man. Coming off a very, very stacked weekend of wrestling. I love weekends like this, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even just about the holiday, because, like, anytime that there's, like, you know, amazing wrestling events like we witnessed this weekend, it feels like a holiday.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man. So, yeah, it's raining diamonds for me, brother. I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. You know, we that's what we did, bro. We was all about the wrestling this weekend. Straight, just every night it felt like, bro. Every night there was something going on. You know, of course, guys, go back and check out our Labor Day episode where we review All Out, and it was a great show. Ladies man Mike King hopped on that, and it was a great show, so go back and check that out. But today we're talking about something totally off the wall, Hutch.
Well, yeah, man. Like, I was present at a show that it felt like I stepped into another fucking realm.
Yes, man.
Like, and I was with it. Like, we're gonna break it down. Like, I've never walked out of a show feeling the way I felt, and we will get into that. But again, yeah, I'm looking forward to chopping it up about this, man. It's been marinating in my head since we walked out the door of that place.
Yeah, same here, bro. Same here. That's the exact same thing that I was thinking. And man, like, one thing that we talked about on the trip back is the fact that normally when we go to wrestling shows, we feel like we're in the building. You know what I mean? We're in the building. We're a part of it. We're ready to be a part of it. But for a while there, we talked about how at the beginning, like, this cult of a crowd is so exclusive that we felt like outsiders.
I straight up did. Like, I went there, you know, because, you know, when you go to a wrestling show, I'll go in my closet, right? and
Yeah.
I look at all my black shirts that I have that have all this random wrestling iconography all over it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, which one am I going to don to go to this Bizarro Lucha Endless Waltz gimmick show, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I will don the 2013 special edition Bullet Club shirt, right? Because,
Yeah.
you know, it's a pretty fresh choice. I'll grab my AEW's, you know, zip up jacket, my hoodie jacket, and let's roll, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I felt like I was wearing a Nickelback shirt at a Slipknot show. Like, I felt so fucking out of place at first. And let me say this again, it's all going to come full circle when I say that, because yes, I felt like an outsider in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because this was not your average wrestling show.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, man.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit, bro. And in order for us to properly break this episode down, or correct myself, to break this show down, we had to get somebody that was on the inside of things, somebody that is part of that universe, and man, we got him.
And I'm glad. Like, he's going to be the how do you say like our journeyman? You know what I mean? Our guide, as it were.
Yeah,
you know,
for
through
sure.
Through this bizarre realm that we walk through. So yeah, I'm glad we was able to get him on, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We went to Bizarro Lucha, and it was a fantastic time. We had a blast. I know I did. And while we were there, we were able to link up. We were able to link up with another podcaster, and he's somebody, he hasn't been on the scene for very long, but when he did come on the scene, he was, you know, making all the right moves, doing things the right way, going to the shows. That's the most important thing, is that, in my eyes, you really gotta go to the shows. You know what I mean? You gotta go to the shows in order to really in order to really get the full gamut of what you're seeing, and then it gives you the opportunity to meet some of these guys. And this guy does that. He does a good job of it. He's always at the shows, and we're happy to have him on, man. And that's the host of the Squared Circle City show, and that is Indy Mike. How's it going, bro?
It's going good, Con. It's going good. I appreciate all the kind words. Inflating my head a little bit. So, hey, I dig it, man. Thanks.
No problem, man. No problem. Like I said, you got to go to the shows, and you do that, man. You really do that. And you're and you were pretty much the bridge that brought In Your House over to Bizarro Lucha, and we went to it, man. And it was a perfect opportunity. The stars aligned perfectly for myself and Hutch to go, and I took in what was. Just right there in the title, it was bizarre. I mean, it was a bizarre show, but I loved it, bro. I loved it. So tell us, can you expand a little bit more on what Bizarro Lucha is and what it intends to? What's the goal of Bizarro Lucha? Because you know much better than what we do.
Absolutely. I've been going to Bizarro Lucha since day one.
Yeah.
Back in October of last year.
Yeah.
And every single bit of what Trip and the boys promoted as, it is strange and unusual.
Yeah.
It's not your average wrestling show, like, at all, in the very least.
Yeah.
Last night we didn't get the full effect of everything, because what it was originally set out to be was much like promotions like Lucha Vavoom and other promotions where it's wrestling with a little bit of burlesque in it.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that burlesque aspect last night. Originally it had started out supposed to be wrestling, burlesque, and punk rock, but they kind of did away with the punk rock a little bit.
Yeah.
It's more so wrestling, burlesque, and creepy, monster-y kind of vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is what we saw, and I'm sure we'll get into that here in a bit, because if we're going to break it down bit by bit, we'll get into that here in a bit.
Sure.
With the whole monster vibes. But Bizarro Lucha is not like any other show that you will see in Indianapolis, in the state of Indiana. It's its own entity. It is very much, like you said, it has like that cult following.
Yeah.
And if you go all over Twitter, there are people that are on Twitter that you see in that crowd every single month that are regulars that are constantly promoting Bizarro Lucha, Bizarro Lucha, Bizarro Lucha. And it's just become a phenomenon.
Yeah. I saw it for myself. I mean, one thing that, one thing that myself and Hutch over here noticed, and I'll let him expand on it, is the fact that the crowd is really what made that show. Not to say that the talent wasn't great, because the talent was amazing. Loved the talent, but the crowd was such a huge part of that show. And that was one thing that me and Hutch had discussed. Hutch, what were you thinking about that, bro?
Well, yeah, again, the crowd, and first off, I got to compliment the atmosphere. Well, I mean, the venue itself.
The
venue itself was awesome. Like, as soon as, like, you know, like the doors open and out come, I'm not sure the guy's name. Maybe Indy Mike can throw it out there. I'm sure he probably knows the guy who was doing the announcing for the match.
I think it's like Mr. Bizarro.
Mr. Bizarro, yeah.
There you go, Mr. Bizarro. Like, you know, like the door opened up and he's like, "Welcome to Bizarro Lucha," and you go in and they got like the lights hanging and all that stuff. You see the ring, and then we just kind of go over and stand, and then everybody's kind of just hanging out or whatever. And then, yeah, when it comes to the crowd, man, like, they made it, even not that there was really any bad parts per se, but even like the slower parts, the crowd kept everything lit.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Like, everything was just going, man. And
exactly,
again, like the first, if anybody was to get a look at my face during the first, I'd say the pre-show, I'm sitting there with just my head on a swivel, just kind of taking this all in, going,
yeah,
I've never seen it. I've been to a lot of wrestling shows, from major, you know, from big arenas, sold out arenas, to WWE pay-per-views, to NXT shows, Ring of Honor, you know, with some New Japan sprinkled in there, you know, when they came with Ring of Honor.
MLW,
you know, DCCW, you know, all this stuff. And again, I'd never seen a show like this or a crowd like this.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it was just interesting to take in, man. Like, I was, and then, like, once they got going, it got me. And to compliment the talent, I was saying this on the way back too, the talent worked like they were in a bigger venue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
like
does.
With all the flips and stuff that they were doing, man. Like I feel like again, I love the small intimate setting, but it's like, this shit's so good, man. Like, they could take this shit to bigger venues and stuff. I'm not sure if they do. I'm not sure if they always have their show there.
Right. I think so far it's just been there.
And that's cool.
Yeah, it's just the brewery, yeah.
And there's part of that that's awesome. You know, that you just have that cool, unique spot that's where that cult gathers.
Yeah.
You know, for this weird, again, bizarre show.
Yeah.
That, again, it was, to sum it up, it was the most unique flavor of Kool-Aid that I've ever sipped upon, but I didn't dislike the flavor.
No doubt, bro. No doubt. I mean, it was a crazy crowd. I mean, and it was a diverse crowd, too. That's another thing I wanted to touch on. I mean,
yes,
so many different races, creed, you know, backgrounds, you know, preferences. You know, it was just crazy. And I looked around and I'm like, look at all these people. All these people here for wrestling, bro.
Bro, I say it on this show all the time. It's my mantra.
Yeah.
I say we are one all the time.
Yeah.
When I looked around this crowd, I saw, and I'm not trying to label anybody, because it's not about labels. It's 2019. You are who you are. It doesn't matter. But I look around, it's like, I'm thinking, there's gay people here.
Yeah.
There's what I assume bi people here. There's lesbians here.
Yeah.
There's transgender people here.
Yep.
You know, and then, you know, there's straight people here. But you know what? Bottom line, it doesn't matter what all that is. To hell with labels and all that shit. There's wrestling fans here.
Yeah.
And we are one. And that is what I got from this show.
Exactly.
And that shit right there was on top of, you know, the athleticism that was displayed in the ring.
Yeah.
Even some, and which we'll get into it, some of the joke stuff that some of it landed with me, some of it did not land with me.
Sure. Yeah.
Which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But bottom line, the athleticism that was displayed, again, all that, I paid $20 to get into this show.
Yeah.
And I got so much out of that small amount of money.
For sure, bro.
So I mean, again, that tells right there. This shit was worth it. It was
worth
awesome.
it, bro. Shit's worth it, bro. and I had a blast, and I'm gonna throw it to Indy Mike here in a second, but I just want to say, man, like, you said it, man. We are one, and
we are one, man.
Like, man, I was. Once again, this is not to take away from the talent in any way, shape, or form, because the talent was fantastic. But one of the things that had me so in awe was just the variety in the crowd and just how everybody was a diehard wrestling fan. They understood what they were watching and loved it for what it was. And I looked around and I'm like, these are my people.
Yes.
These are my people.
Yeah, like they cared, man. Like they were passionate. Like when they cheered somebody, they legitimately cheered somebody. When they booed somebody, they legitimately booed somebody. Like they cared, man. Like they were captivated by this. And again, and I'm sure, you know, there's a lot of old heads, man. Like if Jim Cornette were to watch this show, he would have been like, "What goddamn? What the fuck is this shit?" You know what I mean? Like he would have been going the fuck.
Oh, he would have been snapping, bro. He would have been straight snapping, bro. Yes. And,
you know, to name drop that man, I will say, you know, in regards to some of the stuff that he said, I you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't see some of that in this show, but that's not to take away from this show. This show is 2019, man. 2019, wrestling has changed, and wrestling is like music. I say that all the time too.
Yeah.
And this, you know what, Indy Mike, I got a question for you, bro. I made a reference last night, and Con wasn't able to get this because he really doesn't listen to the rock and metal and all that stuff, and I do believe that you do.
Mm-hmm.
This is the analogy that I made of Bizarro Lucha.
Okay.
Bizarro Lucha to me was like the primus of professional wrestling.
I can kind of see that.
Do you feel that? Because I was kind of catching Con up. I was catching Con up on the whole funk and metal thing and all that shit that they do, and I was just like, that is it. And I was like, I'm going to throw that out on the show. Am I off base with that?
No, I can definitely kind of feel that, man.
All right, good. Yeah, because that's what I get from it. And again, that's not a slight. That is a compliment because I fucking love Primus. Primus is amazing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's like, you know, they you know, but they have carved out their own niche in this business, and it's fucking awesome, man. I'm with it.
I liked it, man. I really did. It was a different vibe. Like I said, I mean, okay, here's why it resonated with me so well, and this is all I'm gonna say on it, because I think and the crowd deserves I want to say this, the crowd deserves to be put over. That was an awesome crowd. If any of you guys are out there listening to this 5-star podcast, you guys were fucking awesome. Keep going to the shows. Keep supporting that. Keep being fucking awesome, because that leads me to the next thing I'm going to say. I've always been critical of Indiana wrestling crowds. I don't think they get hype enough, bro. I don't think they get hype enough. Last night I was like, what the fuck? Did I jump on a fucking train and go to Chicago or something for a quick hot little second? Because that crowd was hot as fuck. That crowd was hot as fuck.
It's funny you mentioned that, man, because like at some points, like I felt like I was the one not making enough noise.
Yeah, man, we always the loudest ones in the motherfucker.
And we are always the ones that's just like, we're here, motherfuckers. You're gonna hear us. You know what I mean? Like, But I'm like, man, like I'm not even making this. And again, it's not like I'm like sitting there hating on the show. It wasn't that. It was just
there was so much shit happening.
Right, and I don't think I was really mentally prepared for what this show was.
Yeah, I did. I went into it with the clear mind and a clear heart. But from what I had heard from Indy Mike, it was pretty fucking crazy. But I had to see it for myself.
Right, Exactly. And I'm glad I did.
And
Hashtag no regrets.
Big facts, bro. Big facts. So I go out there. Who is this Indy Mike? I'm gonna throw it to you. This stable that looks like they're the fucking Office or something. One guy's name's HR. What the fuck is that? Will you shed a little bit of light on that opening, bro?
School us on that.
Yeah.
So are we shooting or are we pulling kayfabe? Because there's definitely a lot of kayfabe going on over there with Bizarro Lucha.
Well, I just want to know, what is their gimmick? Like, who are they?
Okay.
Like, who are these guys?
So,
they're like, hey, I got to talk to HR, and then they got a bearded guy named HR. Like, what the fuck?
So that's exactly. It's gonna sound hilarious to you guys, but you hit the nail on the head. They are actually called The Office.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I love it.
So. James C. Businessman is the one that you saw with the glasses coming in with the suit.
His name's James C. Businessman?
Yes. Coming out dancing to the Hall & Oates with HR and Sage Phillips. And
Sage Phillips is dope, yeah.
Nick Iggy is part of The Office. He was out. Well, we'll get to more about him later on.
Yeah. Because
that's a whole other story and all of its own. But yeah, Nick Iggy, and he's with James C. Businessman and HR and Sage Phillips and all them. They're a crazy ass stable. It's kind of like I would kind of liken them to what Right to Censor was back in the day.
Yeah.
Trying to clean up Bizarro Lucha, and they would often come out and say, no, we don't want this burlesque stuff, and we don't want this, and we're going to try to clean up Bizarro Lucha, and blah, blah, blah. It's been a storyline that's been going on since the second show.
Okay.
They really didn't have all the storylines with The Office and Magnanimous Creations and all that on the very first show back in October.
Yeah.
But once the second show in February rolled around, that's when they started picking things up and going on with all the storylines and everything. And that's one thing that I love. You don't see it on the independent scene. You don't see storylines a lot, especially of this caliber.
Right, yeah.
But that's what that was. Since we're going to keep it with the storylines, yeah, that's pretty much what that was.
That was crazy.
Right.
I just saw these guys coming out and dude, the big bearded dude, which he was dope in the ring. He was tight. HR. I saw this cat and I'm like, okay, this is human resources. He's right there. Like, what is happening?
Right, because I was cracking up because I heard what's his name, James Businessman, talking about I need to go talk to HR about that. And then, he just walks over and, there's HR, and he's talking to him, and that shit cracked me up. I was just that's silly as hell.
Yo, was James Businessman the one who lost his lens out of his glasses and was spazzing out over it?
I believe
he might have been.
I believe so, yeah. Because that ended up going down a little bit later.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. That whole night was crazy. And man, and some of those matches, man, I saw at some point, and we're not going to go in any particular order because for me and Hutch, it's always what we notice. You know what I mean?
We bounce around, man.
We bounce around a lot, so we always do that. And the thing about it is, at some point, there was 8 motherfuckers coming out to the ring, and I'm like, hold on, what's happening? And we looked over Indy Mike, what is going on? And he's like, it's a gauntlet match. I'm like, but they're all coming out. And it's just watch. And I'm like, you got an alley cat in the ring. You know what I mean? You got fucking all kinds of crazy characters coming in the ring. You got fucking who? What was it? Girl, Hera O'Harlow.
Harlow O'Hara.
Okay, I saw her, and I'm like, whoa, what is it? What did you compare her to, Hutch?
I'm sorry, which one?
That was the last chick that came out.
Oh my goodness. You talking about the goth girl?
Yeah, Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she reminded me of Gwendolyn a little bit from Dark Souls, man, as far as, she had, this headpiece on, man, and, that girl caught my attention right out of the gate, right?
Yeah.
Because first it's okay, her outfit is awesome.
Yeah.
Secondly, you know, she had just had that look, man. I mean, like the hair, just the whole look, you know, and she just kind of just had like this old badass thing going on.
Yeah.
And then, man, like once she was able to go in the ring, whew, I'm a fan. I liked her a lot.
That was one thing I noticed is that they were straight up out there with the intergender wrestling. No, they're not pulling shit back on the intergender wrestling. Indy Mike, you want to expand on that a little bit? Is that just part of them wanting to, you know, be here and now with professional wrestling, because that is where we're going and it is happening in a lot of promotions.
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely a big thing that Bizarro Lucha emphasizes, and that's gender equality in professional wrestling, that women can do just as well, if not better, than what the guys can.
Sure.
That's one thing that Shotzi Blackheart actually personally has been advocating for, and that's ending the stigma around intergender wrestling, how a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's promoting domestic violence. Bullshit. No, it's not. But yeah, they're really big on intergender wrestling, and I love it. And I should have said it was a scramble match and not a gauntlet match, because I think scramble match would have been the more appropriate terminology.
Right.
But multi-person matches like that are not uncommon. Every show has at least 2 or 3 of them. I remember back in July they had this big summer beer bash match. It's freaking crazy. Gregory Iron, the Ugly Ducklings, Nate Webb. God, so many people were in that one. But we're talking about last night.
Yeah.
A solid freaking match right there. Alley Cat, CPA, God, who else was in that? Levi Everett.
Yeah, Levi Everett was in it. Yeah, that was my first look at him.
Harlow O'Hara. I'm trying to remember. I know Bobby Orlando was in it. He's pretty entertaining. It was just a solid match.
It really was a solid match.
Yeah.
It really was a solid match. It was my first time. It was really my first time seeing Levi Everett after hearing about him a lot, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this gimmick.
That was the silliest thing. Like, this man came out and just like calmly, like you know, like straight up, like an Amish guy would come out, just shook everybody's hand. Hi, how you doing? Hi,
Yeah.
how you doing? Hi, how you doing? And then this man was talking about he brought in the churning and butter gimmick.
Man,
Yeah, that shit. And then
he was
had
turning
3
people's arms.
He was turning people's arms. He had like 3 people's arms, and everybody's like, churn that butter. Churn that butter. And I'm looking there going, what the fuck
What's
am I watching?
What is
here?
happening?
And then on a serious note,
Yeah.
speaking of this guy,
Levi
and again,
Everett.
he did great. Like, everybody did do well in this match, but the girl that we were talking about with the I refer to her as Gwendolyn, because that's who she reminded me of.
Right.
She ended up taking what looked like a diving headbutt, and it looked like she took that shit straight to the face. And I hope that girl's okay, because that looked nasty, and it looked like the dude apologized and all that, because like I think he knew, and he didn't do it on purpose.
No,
It just looked like it happened, you know, because
Yeah.
things like that are going to happen in this game. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
for
It's
sure.
not it's not ballet.
It ain't ballet,
You know?
bro. It ain't ballet.
Not a slight on anybody, because again, everybody in that match killed it.
Yeah.
But you know, again, accidents happen, and it looked like an accident happened. So I was worried about that girl, man. So I hope she's okay, because she took that shit like a champion.
Right, no
So-
doubt. And who knows? She might have been just selling it, because after a while she
Right.
came out looking no worse for wear, bro.
That she did. So maybe I got worked, and if so, even better. Bravo, but bravo to her nonetheless.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
because,
For sure.
because both of those girls rocked it with those guys, man.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It was awesome. It was awesome. We got a chance to see Alley Cat kind of captivate the crowd, which that was pretty awesome. You know, she's a fucking cat, bro.
Yeah, she's that bitch.
She's that bitch, bro. She's that
The
bitch.
crowd was chanting, "She's that bitch. She's that bitch," and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Like, she had motherfuckers like come and pet her stomach and shit like that. I'm like, she's really a cat. Like, she is for real a cat.
Right. Right. And then there was a spot that they did where somebody's tie, like they held the tie up, and she was like batting at it like a cat would.
Yeah, and then she pulled the tie, and it was a clip-on.
Yeah.
And it was a clip-on. And then the crowd chanted, "It's a clip-on!"
Most craziest crowd. This crowd, bro. This crowd. I'm telling you. And this was a good match, man. This was a really good match. So we got a chance to see. That was my first time seeing a lot of those cats. Alley Cat, Harlow O'Hara, Levi Everett, and I hear a lot of people talk about Levi Everett. He got a little buzz around him, Indy Mike.
He sure does. I actually had him on my show a few months back.
Okay.
He is. I have seen him work multiple. He's actually been on every Bizarro Lucha show. I've seen that man wrestle regular matches. I've seen him wrestle multi-man matches. I've seen him wrestle Dale Patrick's in a death match.
Man.
He's relatively young in the business, but he is so freaking good. And it's that being humble thing with him being this nice and going around and talking to people and everything, that's not just a gimmick. That is who he is. He is just that nice of a guy.
Yeah.
I cannot put him over enough, though. He is ridiculously talented.
Yeah.
Then the sky's the limit for him because he is just that good. When you see him out, and it's I think it's kind of what you guys are. It sounded like what you guys are trying to lean towards. That he comes out to the ring, he comes out to frickin' Willie Nelson with his butter churn, and he's waving and shaking everybody's hands. And then once he gets through that ropes and that bell rings, all bets are off. Like he is in a whole nother zone.
I like that. I really like that. And he was the type of guy that was a lit, like super hot crowd, and he came out and kind of just like, he changed the tone of everything, and I like that. That was dope. Like, he just comes out calm, cool, collected, but like you said, once he gets between those ropes, it's a whole different ball game, and I dig that, man. I really, really do. And I want to switch gears here a little bit, and I'm gonna talk to Indy Mike a little bit here, and I'm man. What is up with this Magnanimous Creations? What the hell is that, bro? Will you please expand some light on that Dr. Robotnik looking dude and his wrestling? Like what was that, bro?
So Dr. Nephilim Magnanimous is a mad scientist, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Who has multiple different creations, formulas, if you will, that permeate Bizarro Lucha. It originally started with Glitch and Dream Boy, which we saw Dream Boy. He was the one with the silver mask and the silver pants. Those were the first two. Malphus came along eventually. He's the one with like the demon mask and shit.
Yeah,
I liked him.
Yeah, he was dope.
Oh, he's so good. So good. Who else was it? Gravity and Dusk. We saw them in a tag match against the Chilean guys.
Yes,
Love
yes,
those
yes,
guys
yes.
so much.
Oh man.
That finish that they hit is one of the absolute craziest finishers that I've seen ever. Especially for a tag finish. It's freaking insane. Basically, that's what that is. Dr. Magnanimous is the mad scientist that created his own little army.
So he created the people that he manages.
More or less, yes.
That is a fucking brilliant gimmick.
So good.
I
so
love
good.
every bit of that idea, and I love it even more that the monsters or minions or whatever it is that they call it that he creates are legit. Like, they're
they are.
good. Like,
bro,
it's not
it's
a
almost
joke.
like it's almost like he made his own homie throne.
Yeah, he made his own squad.
His own squad. He's like, man, nobody want to be my friend. I'm gonna make my own friends.
Right, he's got this mad professor, man. Like nobody talked to him, man. Nobody's trying to be his friend. Well, fuck you, bitch. I'll make my own friends.
And now they go around just kicking everybody's ass.
Right. Yeah. See, I'm with it. Like he was killing me. Like I loved like his voice.
Yeah.
Like everything about it, dude. Like that was stand out positive to me. Like I was there for all of that.
I understand his name, but he will never not be Dr. Robotnik to me.
Right, he's Dr. Robotnik forever because like the man had a fucking lab coat and he's a big guy, and it's awesome, and he stood out, man. Because like as soon as I saw him, because I was like, okay, who is this guy? I was like, okay, he's got this lab coat on, he's got this lucha mask on with a great big black old school like 1920s curly mustache on it.
Yes, man. Yes, I'm like, what is this, bro? It was awesome. It was different. And man, that's only something I believe you're gonna see at Bizarro Lucha, which is dope. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So, man, Indy Mike, tell us a little bit about this Young Dragon Fatal 4-Way, bro, because that was a pretty good match too.
Yeah, that was actually one of my favorite matches of the night. So what it was Dale Patrick, Josh Crane, Ace Perry, and Trip Cassidy.
Yeah.
All four of them, if I'm not mistaken, were trained by Billy Rock. I feel like last night was really a big Billy Rock appreciation night, more or less.
Sure.
Because so many of his students were on that card.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, what that was Young Dragons. The Young Dragons was those four before I really started getting into the independent scene.
Yeah.
But that was a one-time only, like first time, last time match that those four were going to be doing that.
Yeah.
To commemorate the whole Young Dragons stable, more or less.
Sure, yeah.
Phenomenal match. I can't say enough good about like all four of them. I love Dale. Dale's a good buddy of mine. Ace Perry should be wrestling for a bigger company. I wouldn't necessarily say maybe WWE or AEW right now.
Yeah.
But Ring of Honor, Impact, MLW, absolutely.
For sure.
No reason why Ace Perry could not be on one of those promotions.
He was a highlight for me last night.
Josh, he's a highlight everywhere he goes. I don't think I've ever seen Ace Perry put on a bad match.
Yeah.
Josh Crane, very, very underrated. Much like Dale Patrick, him and Josh Crane are both known for their deathmatch work.
Yeah.
Josh was actually just in Japan a few months ago doing deathmatch work. And then Trip Cassidy's Trip Cassidy, so he runs Bizarro Lucha, part of the Carnies as well.
Yeah.
Phenomenal match. I can't say enough good about any of those guys. Two of them I love to death. The other two I don't really know that well. But, yeah, man, such a solid match from start to finish. One thing that you guys don't, because I was standing there next to you guys, and you guys were like, what the hell are they, what's Trip doing? Why is he putting a mask on Dale Patrick's?
Yeah.
What that was, for months on end, from the very first show, there was a wrestler that would come out in these multi-man matches called the Naked Ninja.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It was that mask, and he would come out like a bathrobe and everything, and then this flesh-colored underwear that made it look like he was naked.
Yeah.
So it was just the mask and the underwear. It was Dale Patrick's the whole time. He eventually got unmasked back in July. Yeah, back in July at the last show. No, was it July or was it June? One of those shows. He got unmasked, and he's been doing it without a mask ever since. Yeah, it was definitely in June. So that's what that was. Trip was putting the Naked Ninja mask back on Dale to try to, just ring psychology.
Yeah, for sure. Remind him of that. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely a solid match. I mean, any of those guys could go the sky's the limit for any one of those four. I mean, it's just amazing.
Oh no, I agree with that. I really enjoyed that match, and it was all over the place. And one thing that I really noticed about Bizarro Lucha is even though the venue isn't really equipped for all those tope suicidas, they do them anyway. And
Oh yeah.
and it's awesome, man, because it really gets you to it really makes you a part of the show, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one thing that I love about it most. One of the things I love everything about it. I often tell people that Bizarro Lucha is my home away from home.
Yeah.
The thing I love about that is most shows that you go to are not going to be standing room only.
Yeah.
Every now and then they'll put out chairs. Last night was a special exception. I'm not 100% sure why, but they had chairs out last night.
Yeah.
But it's standing room only, and there's no guardrails, and it's literally like you're standing right there up on the ring. It's the freaking craziest thing.
Yes.
Nowhere else are you going to get that up in your face, right there, touching the ring. You've got to touch on what you guys have been talking about with the cult feeling and the camaraderie and it feeling like a family and unity. Everybody will stand around that ring and they will smack on the ring, kind of like a sign of unison for like, we're really getting into this. We're getting pumped up.
Yeah.
Let's all go over and pound on the ring, and it's amazing. It's like nothing else going on in the business right now.
That's really what I noticed, man. That is really what I noticed, is that it was just so different, so unique, nothing else like it. And I like that feel. I went into it with the vibe that I don't know what I'm about to see, but I saw it, and I was still trying to process everything, even after the show. And even here on the fly, I'm still like, what did I see? But not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. And one of the most peculiar things that I saw the night was, it involved big name was just on the WWE Network and part of Evolve, and that's Shotzi Blackheart. And she went up in a match against you said Atticus Cogar?
Atticus Cogar, yep.
Man, that was one of the weirdest shits I'd have never seen. This dude comes out with a creepy ass look, looking just like Shotzi. I'm sitting over here like, oh shit! Like it reminded me of like the meme where Spider-Man is pointing at the other Spider-Man, and I'm like, holy fuck!
Man, I gotta say, I personally really enjoyed this as shocking and like startling at times as it was with the male on female, intergender match stuff going on. There's a couple times where Atticus like slapped her. Yeah. And again, credit to her, Shotzi, because again, she does so well, dude. Like she's a badass.
But it was a little triggering, wasn't it?
A little bit. But that's fine, because I think that's what they were going for, because like I take it like this guy's kind of like a psychopath kind of thing.
Yeah, obsessed with her.
And I'm assuming there might have been some kind of storyline leading up to this. Maybe and Mike can catch us up on that. But yeah, like when he came out like dressed as her, I was like, okay, that's fucking awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm with it. And then there was like a spot that I kind of dug. It's like, Shotzi's awesome. Like he like walked up to her and like kind of like stormed up to her, didn't run, just kind of like right at the beginning, and like put Shotzi in the corner and like put one hand on her throat. She grabbed his hand and put his other hand on her throat. And I'm just like, yeah, she's awesome.
Man, straight crazy, bro. Straight crazy.
She's like, crazy as hell, but she's awesome.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, she's here for the chokings, bro. Like,
and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, say the safety word, pineapple.
Right.
The safety word.
What was the safety word? I'm like, what's happening, bro? But she was awesome, man. So Indy Mike, could you shed a little light on what the story is behind this cat dressing up like her?
Before I shed a little light on that, I want to point out that you absolutely had me rolling last night. It wasn't so much Hutch as much as it was you. You were talking about somebody say banana. I was rolling. Oh my god, I freaking lost it. Oh my
man.
god. You're like, what's the safety word? Somebody say banana. I freaking died. One thing I love about Bizarro Lucha is they do a lot of their build-up through social media.
Yeah.
And the talent takes it upon themselves to put out their own videos to lead up to all these Bizarro Lucha events.
Yeah.
One thing about Atticus Kogar, his thing is always, he always comes out to the ring wearing like a dead skin mask.
Okay.
This time around, it just so happened to be a Shotzi mask, for lack of a better term, because he had been cutting promos on social media about how he wants to take over and do all this, and he's gonna just take Shotzi's skin and become Shotzi and blah blah blah. And it's just the bizarre nature that is Atticus Kogar.
Yeah.
I've not seen that man put on a bad match either. I'm not sure if it was either July or June, but he had a phenomenal match against Apollo Star.
Okay, yeah, Apollo Star, yeah.
In which he got the victory as well, much like he did last night. He's young, but he's so freaking good. But Shotzi, she's been on every show as well. I mean, her and Trip Cassidy are a couple, so I mean, they're like the power couple of Bizarro Lucha. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Man, she is so freaking good that she should be on one of the majors. She could easily be wrestling for Vince or wrestling for Cody or whatever. Easily.
I could easily see her in NXT easily.
No debates.
Oh,
No
absolutely.
debates.
Absolutely. She did a little work for Impact a while back. I think she was trying out for him, but yeah, she's just, I've never seen her wrestle. Well, I can't say I've never seen her wrestle a bad match. No. I love Shotzi. She's never wrestled a bad match. Some matches I'm like, what the heck was this? But last night was amazing. I loved everything that was building up to that. I loved the story that they were telling with that, with them wearing the same outfit and just him coming out dressed like her. I love that Atticus Kogar oftentimes he takes it over the edge. There's a lot of times where you'll watch a match of his and you'll be like, dude, you can't frickin' do that. Like, what the hell are you doing? But he does it anyway. And, man, I can't say enough good about those two. Shotzi should be on a major, and the sky's the limit for Atticus Kogar, man. It's just, that match was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely got to agree. And, and I actually, we actually had the pleasure of speaking to both of them, post-show. And both of them, fantastic.
Yeah.
Super cool and nice. And, and I appreciate, if they happen to be listening, thank you both very much for taking the time to talk to us. And,
no doubt.
Hope to have both of you on the show here soon. Because,
that'd be dope.
Yeah, you guys were great.
Oh yeah, absolutely, awesome, and that made for an awesome match. I thoroughly enjoyed, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Bizarro Lucha. As we're talking about it, I'm thinking the nice influx of talent that it has, both from talents that have had more exposure than others, and it's a good platform for those talents that haven't had the exposure to get in the ring with those types of talents. And man, this next match here wasn't about one man trying to give another man exposure or anything like that. These were just two old old guards going at it just for going at it, and because they miss it so much. And we're talking about here the master of 1,000 holds, Mike Quackenbush, going up against the king of Indiana wrestling, and that's Billy Rock, man. And that was a pleasure to watch. That was something that was an absolute pleasure to watch. Indy Mike, could you expand on that match a little bit for me, bro?
I have the utmost respect for Billy Rock. I want to say that right here first and foremost. He's trained a lot of people that I call friends, and he's trained a lot of phenomenal wrestlers that have come out of the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
The list goes on, from Dale Patrick to Mance Warner to Big Sue Jackson, Percy Davis, Chip Cassidy, Ruby Riott.
Yeah.
God, so many names that have gone through the School of Rock. This was my first time seeing both of them wrestle.
Yeah, same.
What I love about it is when they first announced last show that Mike Quackenbush was going to be on the show, I'm like, okay, so what the hell is he going to be on the show for? I mean, like, that's cool. But then I come to find out that he's going around and he's having matches. I think this might be like a little bit of a retirement tour, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
For those of your listeners that don't know who Mike Quackenbush is, Mike Quackenbush is the one that runs Chikara. I think this is going to be like his retirement tour, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if I am, but no worries. Those two have wrestled much like was announced last night. They wrestled this. I think last night might have been like their fourth match.
And it was all started like 13 years ago, I think.
13 years ago. I have the utmost respect for Quackenbush as well, because I absolutely adore Chikara.
Yeah.
But seeing that match last night was an absolute classic. It wasn't a big 2019 flippy-doo, Will Ospreay, whatever kind of match. It was two old heads going at it, and it wasn't like, it's not like we were watching Taker versus Goldberg.
Yeah.
It was two older, seasoned vets that still have all of it.
Yeah, they do.
Billy Rock
a lot of
had
good
not
chain
wrestled.
wrestling.
A lot of it. Billy Rock had not wrestled in forever. That was his first match in I don't know how long. But Quack still wrestles. He was actually doing the King of Trios for Chikara with the Ugly Ducklings, so that's cool. But that match, it lived up to the hype. I mean, and there was so much hype surrounding that match. It lived up to every single bit of it. And if anybody hasn't seen it yet, you can go to my Facebook page, because I record the whole freaking match and I put it on there.
There you go.
But yeah, solid match. Can't say enough good about either of those two. It was just one for the ages, man.
It was, man. It was definitely. I feel like I gotta be honest. I feel like that. I wish I would have had the full gamut of that match, just so I could have been. I was already invested because I know who both men are, but the story that they told in the ring, and they told it really well, even after the match was over. It got me into it. They did a really good job of catching me up to why this match was meaningful, and that's why I put that match over. And it really, like, in a weird way, and I mean this with the utmost respect, that because of the craziness of Bizarro Lucha, it almost felt out of place on that card.
A little bit.
Yeah, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that as in it was a very serious, one-on-one competition, which was a nice feel. It was a different flavor. It was a different flavor of wrestling that you got in there with what Bizarro Lucha is, and I commend them for putting that touch in there. And we'll get to another match that me and Hutch explained that didn't really fit what the flavor was, but it was a different flavor and it was good, and we'll get to that. But right now I'm talking about that match, and it was right before the intermission, and man, it was awesome, and I really liked it. Hutch, what were you thinking about that match between the two old guards, Quackenbush and Rock?
I absolutely loved it. This was, it wasn't about flash. It wasn't about, all that. It was about wrestling. It was a wrestling match.
Yeah.
And, it started off, kind of like, kind of just some, exchanges and stuff like that. And then, like, they really, this continued to kind of kick it into a higher and higher gear.
Yeah.
And Quackenbush, man, like, I was telling you on the way back, like, I've heard this man's name echoed throughout the years, man. Back in the days when I was reading the Pro Wrestling Insider magazines and shit, I always heard about Mike Quackenbush. Mike Quackenbush put on this amazing match, here and there and everywhere. But yet I never got a chance to see him live. And I never got a chance to really see him work, period. And then the Chikara thing, I'm familiar with that. I've seen a little bit of it. I can't say I follow it religiously, but it's got its, it's established, it's legit. It's got its fan base
established.
Out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And from what I gather, he's an excellent trainer as well. As far as, helping out new talent and all that stuff, or at least he was at one point in time. I'm not sure if he still is.
Right.
I do believe he was. But yeah, I mean, like, amazing talent, man. And, he got a chance to talk to him as well, after the show. And he was a super nice guy, like super nice, right? And but yeah, this match, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yes, it did feel out of place with the overall theme and the zany hijinks and chicanery. That's
hijinks and chicanery, bro. Yeah,
I'll throw that tagline out there. Holy shit! But yeah, like, this definitely was a stark contrast to that. But I'm still glad it was there.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I personally ate this shit up, and I love the post show, or excuse me, the post match stuff as well.
Yes.
As far as, like, Billy Rock, talking about what Quackenbush has done and all that. And it's cool to see somebody like Billy Rock, who's contributed so much to the art of professional wrestling, thank another guy, you know what I mean, who's given so much and contributed so much. It's like, we really did witness something special with this.
No doubt.
And I can humbly say that I was, thrilled to, witness it firsthand live. And I actually recorded the entirety of that match as well. Yeah. And no regrets. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was a great match. It was a really good match. And I gotta say, man, just everything that going back to the atmosphere, and then we'll talk more about the matches. The atmosphere, man, about how it was Mr. Bizarro saying how they don't deal with any racism, they don't deal with any, you know what I mean, no homophobia, xenophobia, no phobias, man. No phobias, none of that. They don't deal with that stuff. And they came out the gate and said that, and they were like, man, go get some water if you need some water, go get that. And it was just, and then also, it was a good feel. And
then also, I love, they're like, we use the word fuck.
Man, yes.
We use the word shit.
Yes.
We use the word bitch. Like, and they did. Like, I love that. I'm just like, oh my God, these men and women have pure artistic, creative freedom here.
Yeah.
To do whatever they want. And they definitely peppered the language throughout. Don't bring your kids to this show, man.
Right.
Because it's not that kind of show.
It's not that kind of show. Not at all. Not at all. And I like the feel. I like how, for me, it was just raw and artists being artists, and that's why it resonated with me so well, because they were just out there just being artists, doing what they love to do, and man, I got to tell you, it was just an awesome feel and an awesome vibe. Indy Mike, you've been to every show, man, so is that how it's always been as far as just open-mindedness and being progressive and forward-thinking?
Ever since day one, man. That's what they've always promoted. No homophobia, no transphobia, no racism. The thing that I love, the way that I can sum up how they want the atmosphere to be there, it's exactly like Mr. Bizarro said. Don't be a dick. I mean, plain and simple.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick.
That shit should be a motto in life.
No, big
Like,
facts.
It should be.
Like there's something to be learned from that.
Big facts. Big
let
facts.
people let people be who the fuck they are, and don't be a dick.
Period.
That's it.
Period, bro. Period. And I really like that feel. That was like, like we said earlier in the show, you guys. At some point, we felt kind of out of place, but I quickly realized that atmosphere. Them's is my people. Like, I want every last one of them motherfuckers in the household now. You know what I mean? Like, households for
I
bro.
welcome you all in.
Households for everybody, bro.
Right. I'll say all of you are welcome. Whether your hair is, your natural color, or if you got some green in your hair and you got half of it shaved and all that shit. Like, I don't give a damn. Be you.
Come on,
bring
be
that.
you.
Bring that unique weirdness, with us, because we're uniquely weird too.
Exactly. Everybody is
bring
in
that,
one way or another.
Like, bring that shit.
Exactly.
And I love it. I'm here for it. I'm here for that. I really like. It was crazy because that was actually the most. I think out of every show that I've been to, out of every single show I've been to, and I've been to a lot of fucking shows, you guys. I've been to a lot of damn shows, man. I ROH, MLW, WWE, NXT, a lot of indies, so many indies, and I went there, man. I went there and I was like, wow, this is probably the most progressive show I think I've ever been to. Period.
Mm-hmm. I have no debates on that either. And again, it was just like we said, atmosphere. That word kept coming up, atmosphere and vibe.
Yeah.
And that just kind of just carried on through the entire evening.
It was a vibe, bro. It was an absolute vibe. And, man, this episode right here is a vibe. I'm talking to my man Hutch and Indy Mike. And we're talking Bizarro Lucha here on this Labor Day. Enjoying a great Labor Day weekend. We talked a lot of wrestling, watched a lot of wrestling, took in a lot of wrestling. And when you guys listen to this, it's going to be Tuesday morning. So, no Monday, Tuesday. Kick those Tuesday blues with a little bit of In Your House. Put us in your ear. And man, I gotta say, as the night progressed and moved on, it was just so crazy because we got a chance to see a lot of good talent, and I want to talk a little bit about that match that was involving Apollo Star was in it. That was my first time seeing Apollo Star. I believe it was a fatal 4-way, man. I'm gonna throw it to Indy Mike, man. Could you kind of expand on everybody in that match and that match a little bit?
Sure can. Apollo Star, another season vet here in Indy.
Yeah.
One half of the Soul Shooters with Drew Skills. They don't call him the Timeless Technician for nothing.
Okay.
I remember when I first saw him, it was back March of last year.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I was like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, it's cool. But then I started seeing him wrestle Bizarro Lucha, and I'm like, oh my God, he can still fucking go. Like, holy shit. It was Apollo Star, Sage Phillips, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Sage Phillips.
Gary J, which Gary J is one of the nastiest dudes you'll ever see in the ring in the world. A little fun story. I'm a little salty because a few months back, I think it was maybe like May, it was him and Calvin Tankman.
Yeah. And
they did this spot where like they were outside of the ring and Gary accidentally kicked my right forearm. I still haven't gotten that chunk of arm back that he accidentally took out that night. But that's neither here nor there. And then it was Danhausen. Danhausen is one of the most interesting characters in the entire independent scene that I've ever seen in my life. I love his character to death, everything that he does with the whole... He's up this creepy boogeyman, not like WWE boogeyman, but like goes bump in the night kind of like boogeyman that's like just really creepy. and he does this thing with like teeth and shit, and it's just, I love it. I like you guys say, I am right there for all of it, man.
Yeah.
I am definitely right there for Danhausen can be on every show that I go to, and I'll be perfectly fine. Another great match. Such a good match. Sage Phillips is another one. I think he was a Billy Rock kid as well. God, he's so good. Sage Phillips reminds me of a young Chris Benoit. Very much so. But another phenomenal fatal four-way match.
Yeah.
Apollo came out with the victory on that one.
He did, yep.
It's such a good match. So much good talent. I mean, and that's just indicative of what Bizarro Lucha really is. It's always just great talent. Just phenomenal talent.
That's what I've noticed. That's what I'm seeing, bro. I really like it. I'm digging it, and I saw a lot of great talent. Also got a chance. I wanna throw in there. I got a chance to really see IFHY really for the first time as a unit, and that was awesome. Had a few members in the crowd there watching the show and stuff like that, and that was awesome. I'm a fan of IFHY. Got a chance to, like I said, got a chance to see them for the first time, so that was awesome. And it seems like there's a little there's a little bit of discord in there somewhere, but Alley Cat brought it all back together, and it was awesome. Sean Kemp and Jonathan Wolf, and that was awesome. But another guy I got a chance to see who I've heard a whole lot about for a very, very long time, and man, that's Sugar Dunkerton. That was awesome to finally see him, man. Sugar Dunkerton, that dude is a vibe, bro. He's a straight vibe.
He definitely knows who he is.
Yeah, no doubt. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. Had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun watching it and seeing him for the first time. And that was nuts, really seeing him, because I had heard so much about him and a little bit about, just a little bit about who he was. And man, he stepped in the ring. He stepped in the ring there with Big Perk, Percy Davis. What do you know about this guy, Indy Mike? Can you tell us a little bit more about him?
I sure can. Percy Davis is another Billy Rock guy. This is his first time actually wrestling as Percy Davis, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he was wrestling as Percy Davis on the first show, but he was doing a character called Dynamite Dino Dude, which was that mask that you guys saw him.
Okay, that's why he brought the mask out. Okay.
Yeah. It was just really super early 90s, totally tubular dino mask, skateboard dude.
Yeah.
It was the coolest freaking gimmick. But Percy Davis is so good, coming out to the freaking power line from Goofy movie.
Yeah, I dug that.
We saw a little bit of a heel turn on them last night. He was getting some heel shit in there. I'm like, what is going on? Because Percy's one of the nicest dudes, and that's always been his thing in the ring, is just being a really nice dude.
Yeah,
but
he was drawing a little heat.
Oh yeah, they went at it. Oh my god, I knew that was going to be one of your more entertaining matches.
Yeah,
but I've known Suge for a while. Those two, he can go. Suge can go. He is one of the, I will honestly say, he is probably the most entertaining, outside of the Jim Nasty Boys.
Yeah.
Probably the most entertaining wrestler on the independent scene that I know. Such a good match. If he doesn't get signed by a big company here within the next year, I'm going to be devastated. But yeah, that was another great match. Really no storyline behind it at all.
Yeah.
It was Suge's first time at Bizarro Lucha.
Oh, okay.
But I've seen him at Wrestling Theology for frickin' forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen him work. I've seen him work a blindfold match. I've seen him work a singles match inside of a six-man tag or a triple threat tag match, which turned out to be just 5 guys instead of 6. He's just freaking talented, so good. He's killing it over there in the UK. He's going back to the UK on Thursday.
Awesome.
Such a good dude. One of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet, and one of the best performers in the ring that you'll ever see. So, yeah, I can't say enough good about that match either.
I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with that match. It was my first time seeing Shug D. He's definitely got a chance to talk to him. You can definitely tell he's just a cool dude, well traveled, well spoken, just an awesome person to be around. That was my first perception of him, and he was real cool, real approachable. Hutch, what were you thinking about this match between Percy Davis and Shug D?
Well, this one, I'll be honest, I'm not trying to be the party pooper here.
Right.
I love Shug, man. Love Shug. I've heard that. That's another guy. I've heard that man's name for years. I've seen highlight reels of him. I've seen a few matches of his. I love his work. And to talk to him, cool cat. Again, he knows who he is. He knows his gimmick. He's with it. And I agree with Indy Mike. If that man is not signed in a major company somewhere, it's a fucking crime. Because yeah, he has everything it takes. However, I will say that this is something that, in particular, I checked out on this one in the beginning when they did the monkey flip thing, and then Shug was like, "Hey, what's a monkey flip?" And they're like, "I did that 3 moves ago," and all that shit. That lost me. That, because, I mean, call me an old head, you know what I mean? But that to me was it kind of, I don't know if I want to say it crossed the line per se with me. It just, with me, again and again, when I say this, wrestling is subjective. It's art. Just because I say it this way does not mean it was bad overall.
Right.
The people loved it. Everybody else popped for it. You popped for it. Indy Mike popped for it. Everybody was popping for it. So I'm not trying to say that I'm right and everybody else is wrong. I understand that I'm the minority here. It's just how I personally saw it.
Sure.
It just, that particular thing did not land with me, and it missed so hard that it actually took me out of the rest of the match. And the rest of the match was executed well as far as the in-ring work goes.
Yeah.
It just, again, that to me, it just seemed to cross a line. That I'm just like, that to me was just, it was too much. It didn't land with me. So therefore, that particular thing just didn't work. And it made me sad, because I'm like, here I'm getting to see Shug work live for the first time. And now it's kind of bittersweet with how it went, you know? So, yeah, but that's kind of where I'm at on that. But I give it to both talents, you know, for executing it. Again, it landed with everybody there. I mean, so I mean, it's not a miss overall, but that particular spot was a miss for me.
I understand, man. You're entitled to your opinion. That's why we talk. That's why we have these conversations, so people can have their opinions. And for me, man, it was just a different flavor. We talk about it all the time. It was a different flavor. You know, we had a different flavor with Quackenbush and Rock, and a lot of different flavors there throughout the night. And it was just, to me, it was that part of the show, that comedy part of the show that lets you know that wrestling's for everyone, and they're gonna and Bizarro Lucha is smart enough to know they need to offer everything, and they offered everything. I understand what you're saying, but for me, I took it for what it was, and it was comedy. Same thing with the 24/7 championship. I took it for what it was, and because of that, that's why I was able to continue and enjoy what I was watching, because I just took it as a different flavor. But I understand what you're saying, and you are very much entitled to your opinion, bro.
Yeah, and again, and it's tough, because like I sit here and I put over, you know, the 24/7 championship. I put over Orange Cassidy, because Orange Cassidy, let's face it, Orange Cassidy is silly as fuck.
Yeah.
But it works. You know what I mean? But I think this was just, it was more so the spot calling. Yeah. It was actually talking about the in-ring shit.
Yeah.
And wrestling, to me, even if it's a comedy spot, it's all about the desire, you know, and the competition to win the match. But when you're in there conversing about spots,
Yeah.
that, no matter how competitive or how quote unquote mad that you appear to be, y'all were just conversing about what you were going to do like 2 minutes ago.
Right.
Audibly, purposely, comedically. So that to me, again, I sound like I'm hating myself right now because I'm sitting here just like I feel like I'm walking in the party that's like popping everybody's balloons and shit. Like I'm not trying to be that guy, but it's just like And again, I want to emphasize this has nothing to do with the work rate and how it was executed in the ring because again, both guys athletically killed it out
Yes,
there.
they did. Yes, they did.
And both of them are mad capable. And big ups to the dude giving candy to everybody. Everybody had suckers. They were even giving out the good flavors. Like
Man,
they didn't come out with the stale ass suckers like root beer and all that shit, man. Everybody was getting the cherry, the strawberry, the cotton candy, all that. So, he shared with everybody, and that was cool.
And he hit him with the Stone Cold Stunner, and then cracked a few Skittles. You know what I mean? Cracked a few Skittles. Open.
Yeah. That's it. I know it, man. It was like taste the rainbow, man. The shit was everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean that's kind of where I'm at on it, and I'll leave it at that. But again, I don't want to sound like that it's in no way like being negative on the brand. It's being not negative on the talent or anything like that. It's just that particular thing kind of checked me out. And I really, really hope I did an adequate job of explaining why while being respectful and not just trying to sound like that I'm negative and just shitting all over it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
More than fair, bro. More than fair, I think. More than fair. And, man, we're running out of time here. But the last match that I want to talk about, I know, Hutch, I know you're hot to talk about this one, bro. You're hot to talk about this one. Woo.
I've been itching. Come
Yes,
on,
man.
let's get the intro, and then volley it to me when you're ready, because I am ready to go about this one.
Absolutely, bro, absolutely. And we're gonna take, of course, Indy Mike on this journey with us, and that is the main event of the evening. The main event of the evening, and man, that was for the Luchaversal Championship. Love the name, love it. That's awesome. Man, this was probably the most contrasting match of the night out of everything. And man, that is man, he can't be touched, bro. Like indestructible, straight up, bro. Like heavyweight hustle, big man Calvin Tankman going up against the Southern Psycho, man. It's Lariat and like bears up in this motherfucker, and that is MLW star Mance Warner defending his Luchaversal Championship. And Hutch, go ahead and lead us into this match, man, because I know you've been dying to talk about it.
Well, gentlemen and household, let me tell you, this match was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mentioned Cornette earlier, and I don't want to speak for the man.
Yeah.
He would have been having a fucking coronary throughout probably damn near the whole show. I think Cornette would have loved two things in this show: the Quackenbush match with Billy Rock, and this.
Yeah.
This match, I mean, you would have thought there were millions of dollars on the line here, and not to down the value of what the amazingly named title that they have.
Yes,
but I mean, talk about making that title look legitimate, because these two beat the brakes off of one another. And can I just I'm going to plant a seed right now. I'm not sure if it's going to grow, Con, if it's okay if I do this on our 5-star podcast.
Sure.
I have a vision with Calvin Tankman.
Oh, do you?
I want that man to walk with me. I want that man to be my abyss walker, dude. I need to talk to that guy about doing some business. I'm not sure if he's signed exclusively to the Bizarro Lucha or not.
No, I think he does other shows, bro.
If he's interested in stepping into DCCW and Jared would be okay with it, I would not mind the Ultimate Sin guiding that man to prominence.
Dude's a straight beast, bro. He's a straight beast.
I'm just going to throw that. And that man, he was terrifying in the ring.
Yeah, man.
Like, that's a man that if I saw that man looking at me, if I was walking down the road and I saw that man looking at me, I'm going to the other side.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, man. Yeah,
And-
absolutely. He was just a force, bro. And can I just talk about how he came out to some Tupac, bro? Like, yes.
He was over right out of the gate. I'm like, okay, who's coming out? I'm like, oh, wow. Like, damn, this guy's massive. Okay. And then again, just, man, he was chopping that bread. Like, it was...
I was feeling
brutal.
the vibrations on those chops, bro.
Like, normally when you see and you hear somebody get chopped, you just hear the slap. But
Yeah.
you were hearing and a very audible thud
Yes.
with every slap.
I felt the
And-
vibration in the building, bro.
And this was just the beginning. Like, it was kind of a test of strength, and just to hear them jaw jacking with one another, just like, like, yo, is this what you got to do? Do you really want to test this slugfest game with me? You got
Man.
Tankman just like running his mouth right, and here he is, just this loud monster. And again, this was another guy we got to talk to later in the night, post show.
Yeah.
And and instantly, as soon as I saw that man, I'm like, oh, I'm about to go talk to him right now.
No doubt.
Like I want/need to talk to this man
Yeah.
right now. And he, again, totally different demeanor. It's like, it's crazy to see how the talent can like turn that off and turn that on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because again, he was a very just humble, nice guy. He was, super willing and to take the time to talk to us and all that.
Yeah.
But back to the match, back to this fucking match. My God, there's so many things to talk about. Next thing I know, I mean, like going a little bit forward, because we bounce around here on the show.
Sure.
Where they were like, one like, hand in the chairs. We want chairs. Next thing I know, I'm throwing chairs in. Next thing I know, I'm thinking, oh my God, if something bad happens to somebody here, I'm an accomplice.
Yes, man.
I just help put in the hardware here. I'm handing him the bullets that he's putting in the fucking gun. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro.
what the fuck am I doing here?
Those chair shots were disgusting.
Nasty. There were so many chair shots, and oh my God, the working punch on that man too. Both of them.
Oh
Both of
man,
them.
yes, but you're specifically talking about Mance Warner and
Mance Warner.
Oh, Mance
Mance
don't
Warner.
play games, bro.
Hell no. There were times that he was punching. Like, I'm sitting there going, that's not a work punch. He just punched Tankman in the face. Because,
Man.
as we said, Khan, Indy Mike, and myself were like right there. Like, there was about 5 feet between us and the ring.
Man,
It's
yes.
that. Yep. If that, there's probably like one or two, or like one person standing in front of us, and then there was the ring. There were times where we had to move because the action was getting brought to us.
Man, for sure. Yes, and that was awesome.
And yeah, man, this match. So yeah, I know I've babbled enough here. I know you guys want to get some stuff in here too. So I've said what I needed to say. This match was fucking amazing. And then when they did the run-in thing where what's his name? Iggy. Nick Iggy was coming out to cash in. I assume the equivalent of a Money in the Bank thing. Is
It was
kind
a
of basically
rematch
what
clause
it
he
is.
got for some reason.
Rematch clause.
Right, or his rematch clause. Okay, so it's just like he can cash this in at any time. Boom, next thing you know, he's in the match. And the crowd just went fucking ape shit at this point.
Oh my
And then-
gosh.
He ended up getting it.
He won it,
Some
bro.
bitch walked out with it, and people were pissed.
They were so mad. They were so
I
mad.
was pissed.
I wanted
And
to
now-
see Tankman take it.
And I'll give it to him the most important thing, and I'll leave it at this. They basically booked a triple threat match.
Yep.
And the key thing to any show, be it WWE, AEW, any of that, is to give you a hook
Yep.
and leave you wanting more.
And
Well,
they
you
did
know
that.
what? They fucking did it, because I want to see that triple threat match.
Me too, bro.
Yep.
Me too,
So-
bro.
There we go. That's what I got to say. Everybody there knocked it out of the park in that main event. It did feel out of place in regards of, because again, this felt serious
Yeah.
in regards of the aforementioned hijinks and chicanery.
Yeah,
but-
for sure.
But this was an absolute home run to me. And hell, this match was worth the price of admission alone. Both of these guys could also work anywhere. And And I know Tankman, I assume, is a young guy. I'm not sure how long Tankman's been working. I want to do my research on him. And, and again, that's another guy that I'd love to have on the show and, like, kind of get his background. Like, where'd you train? Who's your inspiration? You know what I mean? All that shit. I want to know everything about you.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, that, like I said, they knocked it out of the park. Money.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Indy Mike, what was you thinking about this main event, bro?
Well, I've been watching Mance Warner and Calvin Tankman both for a while now. I'm a little biased because Mance Warner is my absolute favorite wrestler in the world.
Yeah, sure.
And he's a good bud of mine. Every time we see each other, it's just nothing but love. Calvin Tankman is probably one of the most underrated talents on the independent scene. The fact that he's not getting more recognition on the independent scene is an absolute travesty. I've been watching him. I mean, he's held titles everywhere he's been. I mean, we're talking former IWA Mid-South champion, other titles, other places, just all over the place. He's another guy that could be on one of the bigs and do really well for himself.
Yeah.
I was a little biased, though. I'm like, hey, I want Mance to win this. I want all the success in the world for Mance Warner.
Sure.
But that match, my God, it's... I can't put it into words. It was that good.
It was really good, yeah.
My God. It just left you speechless. Up until the point where Nick Iggy came out. And testament to Nick Iggy, the thing that I love about him is the fact that I hate him when he's out there.
Yeah.
I absolutely, like, I have to take myself out of, like, I know who Nick Iggy is. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But it's like, I was like, oh, I know that he's a nice guy, but why the fuck are you doing this? You're such a dick. You're an asshole. You're like the worst dude on the face of the planet. Like, he can draw heat like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the whole intention of the whole office stable is to just piss off the fans and draw heat. And he does it so freaking well. I personally did not see that coming at all last night. And I've been there since day one.
Yeah.
I was excited last show I was excited to the point of tears last show when Mance won the title. But my God, I did not see that coming like at all last night. And I kind of figured that they were going to build up to a triple threat match because the poster's already been released for the anniversary show next month.
Sure.
But I didn't see it coming. I was like, what the hell is he coming out here for? And I'm like, why did he just win the title? And then I'm like, oh, I see what him and once Mance took the mic, I'm like, oh, I see what's going on.
Yep.
But my God, that match alone was worth the price of admission. Whether you were paying the $15 for pre-sale or the $20 at the door.
Either or. Yep.
Either or. That match was so good you could put it like it could main event. That match could have main evented anywhere.
Yeah.
And I fully believe that. My God, I don't know if you guys did you guys see when Calvin was up there on the stage and he hit Mance Warner with a freaking barrel?
Yes, man. He he hit him with a freaking barrel. I'm like, what the hell? They're throwing chairs at each other, slamming chairs on each other's back, and let's not even talk about the big spot, the vertical suplex, the superplex off the top rope through the chairs. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That was crazy to see so close.
Yeah, that close.
Like right there in your face. And let me tell you, you see it on TV and you think, wow, that has to hurt. There's no way you could fall on that, right?
Yeah.
And that not hurt.
Right.
Well, let me tell you, it was about 8 feet, 10 feet from us. And yeah, that looked like it hurt like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
no faking that shit, dude.
No.
Like that shit hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right about that, bro. You're right about that. And like I said, I got a chance to see Nick Iggy. He's the new Luchaversal champion. He's just a dastardly motherfucker, and I love it. I'm here for that type of energy, bro. And yeah, it just made for a really, really great night. Bizarro Lucha, for me, and I know Hutch was talking about it too, we'd go again. I know I'd go again. And they weave together some really good stories on top of having some really great talent and an over the top feel to this promotion. Bizarro Lucha, I think, is something that you guys need to be looking out for. It's a promotion that I think is on the rise with a cult like fan base, great characters, great in ring talent, and great stories that they weave. I definitely think that it's something that you need to look into, and if you want to watch it, you can check it out on independentwrestling.tv. So that's where they stream their stuff, which is awesome. And as far as Bizarro Lucha, I'm going to throw it to Indy Mike. Is there anything else that you think that the 20,000 followers, 14 different countries across these great United States and locally right here at home in Indiana, is there any more that you think that the household should know about Bizarro Lucha?
Go back to independentwrestling.tv. Subscribe to that. Go watch their shows. Go watch the Effie versus Ace Perry match. Go watch the Jim Nasty Boys and Joey Ryan versus Levi Everett in IFHY.
Ooh.
Go back and watch Nick Iggy versus Solo Darling for the Luchaversal title. Go back and watch literally every show that they've ever put out.
Yeah.
So much good talent that's came through there. Joey Ryan, the Jim Nasty Boys, Effie, Solo Darling. I know there's more that I'm forgetting right off the top of my head. The Ugly Ducklings. The Colony from Chikara, the Caution from Hood Slam. Go back and watch. It was the July show because June it was Ace Perry versus Effie. Go back and watch the July show where it was Effie versus Nurse Ratchet from Hood Slam.
Oh wow!
Every freaking show. Such a good show. And when they say every show is their best show, it's not a cute little catchphrase. It's the absolute God's honest truth. Every show is their best show. I've never been to a show where I wasn't fully entertained. Go back and watch some of the early stuff when MJF was doing stuff. The very first show was actually MJF versus Calvin Tankman.
Oh, wow.
That was a solid match. Go back to the second show, I think it was, where MJF fake proposed to Alley Cat in the ring and then gave her an eye poke. It was craziest thing. That video was viral.
Oh, wow.
That video was viral. It was nuts. Everything about that. There's been so much good talent. The Bomb Shelter. There's been a bunch of the who's who around the local independent scene here in Indiana.
Yeah.
Guys like Cole Radrick, guys like IFHY and Levi Everett, and God. There was a match a while back where it was IFHY, which it was Sean and Jonathan versus JKO and TJ Kemp coming out looking like their boys. It was the funniest shit. So much good stuff. Oh, go back and watch. I don't remember what month it was, but there was like a 5-on-5 tag match where one of the guys pulled out of the match and they replaced him with a roll of toilet paper. And you had 9 people working a roll of toilet paper. It was the funniest freaking thing you'll ever see.
What?
Jim Cornette would have had... Yeah. Jim Cornette would have had 5 heart attacks.
What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. You had Thunder Kitty, you had I think Matt Nix was in the match, Jesus Bryce, all these guys and Thunder Kitty were working a roll of toilet paper. It's freaking insanity. So many good matches, so much good talent. Another guy you should put on your radar is a guy named Jesus Bryce.
Okay.
He is absolutely phenomenal. He made his debut. He came out. Shotzi Blackheart was doing this War of the Genders Championship challenge because she had a title from Sabotage. It's called the War of the Genders Championship. She eventually wound up losing it to a wrestler named GPA. She would defend that title every show. Every match that she's had has been an intergender match. Jesus Bryce made his debut, like, after her victory. He came out and just freaking decimated her.
Man.
It was nuts, and I've been a fan of his ever since.
Yeah.
But he's another guy you guys need to look into, check out his body of work. So much good talent that's been through those doors over there at Indiana City Brewing Company. So much good stuff. It's my absolute favorite place in the world to go to for a wrestling show, and I think you guys now understand why.
Oh, yeah. Definitely understand why. Definitely understand, because I had a blast at that show. I would definitely go back. Tankman and old Mance Warner, my match of the night, and I really had a blast. It was something different. I had to fully process everything, and I think we did a good job of it here on this show. So with that being said, it's time. Oh, yes, it's time. And we're going to start with Indy Mike. And it is time for you to plug anything that you want to plug, bro. Your social medias, where people can catch you at. It is your time. Go ahead and plug away, my friend.
Yes, sir. So my name is Indy Mikey. I am the host of the Squared Circle City Show. You can find me on Facebook. Just type in the Squared Circle City Show. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at IndyMikey317. You can find my podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, pretty much wherever. If you guys are on there, then more than likely I'm on there.
Good stuff.
I've been on a little bit of a hiatus. I highly suggest going back and listening to certain episodes that I've done with the Gymnasty Boys, with Levi Everett, Dale Patrick. I did an episode. My last episode was with Kim Artlett, the promoter / whatever for Ignite Wrestling down in Florida.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just a fan of like wrestling around home, which is what I try to promote with my podcast. It's in the name. It's the Squared Circle City. It's trying to promote wrestling around Indianapolis and the central Indiana area and the state of Indiana itself. But I'm a fan of wrestling all over the country. On the independent level. And Kim's a sweetheart. She's been one of the most awesome people that I've known. Go back and listen to, like I said, the Gymnasty Boys, Chuckles the Clown. That was a fun one. Holy crap, was that a fun one. I do have a few in the works that I'm not going to name anybody, but I will say that I have guests lined up that were there last night.
Awesome.
So be on the lookout for those. I've actually got another tag team episode in the works. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to put that together, but someone that was there last night, and then also I've got a tag team one coming in the works.
Awesome.
So yeah, follow me on all the social medias. Follow me, or just go do all the whatever, listen on all the platforms, and just hop on board. Household, you're more than welcome over on my end.
Sure.
And I would love to get back with you guys to do this again.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We really appreciate you coming on, man. That is Indy Mike. Truly appreciate you coming on, brother. He's the host of the Squared City Circle Show. Another fellow professional wrestling podcaster. Always going to the shows right there out of Indianapolis. And we truly appreciate you coming on, bro. Thanks so much for taking your time.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And, of course, I got to throw it to the co-host of the In Your House show, my man. That is the ultimate sin. That's Hutch. Go ahead and hit him with it, bro. Plug away.
Well, thank you, sir. And, you guys can catch me on one of two different social media options. One that I have been pretty consistent with, and the other one that I've been sadly neglecting, but I'm going to do my best to get back to it. The latter is Twitter. You can follow me on there at Hutch IYH. Just give me a follow, let me know what you did, and I'll do my best to tweet more. I promise. And also on the Instagram, you can follow me at Hutch IYH. I post wrestling memes, video game memes, video game artwork.
Yep.
I actually went live for this Bizarro Lucha show, and plan to continue to do that, do some behind the scenes stuff when we do recordings on the In Your House shows, video shows and all that. And and also, Calvin, if you have to be listening, buddy, get at me. I have a lot of awesome ideas. I'm just going to throw that out there, Mr. Tankman. Anyway, so you know how it is. You know what I always say here, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, whether you cheer, you boo, us, WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, OWE, DCCW, Bizarro Lucha, it doesn't matter. We are wrestling. We are Legion. We are one. Thank you very much for listening. Catch you next time.
We are one. One of the great slogans of this show from my man, Mikey Hutch. And this was another fantastic episode. But, hey, that's just what we do here at In Your House. What do we do? Oh, yeah. We give you that work. So, let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's all right. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, we can get to you. Check us out October 5th, Heroes and Legends 13, Fort Wayne, Indiana. We are the official podcast of the entire event, and if you can't make it, but we really want you to make it, you can check it out on Fight TV with your boy, the Status Symbol, Con House, and the Golden Ticket, Jason Saint, who I was able to meet. Super cool dude. Guys, you already know what it is. www.prowrestlingtees.com/inyourhouse. Check it out. Get this work. Get this shirt. And we say it all the time. Hop on this bandwagon. Get on. Or get gone. Because the household, we going mighty strong. You guys have a great day. And a great rest of your week. Peace.